Okay, so as titled, we're going to discuss gas pump etiquette. Two major things involving gas pump etiquette. What you should care about, but we know that you don't, or you don't consider before you do it, or you either don't care or you don't think about it. And I doubt that you're not, well, I'm not going to say I doubt that you're not thinking about it because most of you don't think anyway. A lot of you don't think. Common sense, that's why they say common sense, it's not common. Nobody, because majority don't think. They have to be told instead of just them thinking about it for themselves. I guess that's why I have my job, to do this. Whether if you listen or not, it's going to be a whole different ballgame. But you have been told and you have been warned. And no, I'm not an authority. I don't claim to be. But if you want to be treated a certain way, it's always been taught, treat others the way you want to be treated. So if you don't want to be treated this way, then don't treat others this way. If you want to be, if you want consideration, if you want to be thought about before somebody does something wrong towards you, well then, show the same respect. If you want to be cared about, then care about others, not just when it's convenient. When it counts to care about them. As long as they don't do anything as long as they're not the ones creating the problem. If you're creating the problem, there's a problem. Anyway, we're going to talk first about parking at a gas pump. I don't mean parking at the gas pump because that's the pump you're going to use. I mean parking at the gas pump because you're too lazy to park in a parking spot, especially at these Walmart gas stations. You know, the curbs and everything, that's parking spots. You're supposed to pull up to the curb and park. The Walmarts at the major Walmarts, they may not have parallel parking spots, but the curb is where you're supposed to park at, not at a pump to go in there and buy a drink or a candy bar or whatever. Now if you're parking there so you can go pay cash for your fuel, or something's wrong with the machine at the pump to use your card, and you go up there to the window and you use your card to pay for your gas, that's completely different. But they're not meant as parking spots to go inside and buy merchandise, to hold up a pump, especially when the place is busy and you got 3 or 4 cars trying to find a pump to use, and you're holding up a pump because you think you're entitled to that. You think you're entitled to that right. I don't want to have to get out and walk 5-10 extra feet. I'm too fat, or I'm just too lazy. Well, you're lazy. That's how you got fat, because you're lazy. So there we go. Now, first, like I said, we're going to discuss parking at a fuel pump for no reason other than to go inside and buy merchandise. Parking at a gas pump without fueling or failing to pull up to the first available pump causes traffic congestion, and we'll get to the first available pump here in a second. That'll be the next topic. Causes traffic congestion, reduces station efficiency, and is considered inconsiderate etiquette. It blocks customers needing fuel, wastes time for others, and can hinder station profitability. Always move your car to a designated parking spot after fueling if you need to go inside. Yeah, fuel. If you need to go up there and buy your fuel, I would suggest go ahead and getting your drink and your snack at the same time as you're buying your fuel real quickly. Bring your snacks back, put them in your car, get to fueling, and get the hell out of my way. Go to the curb or to where there's parallel parking spots and freaking park. Not sit there and still I gotta answer this Facebook, or I gotta answer this text message, I gotta answer, this Snapchat, or whatever the fuck it is. You're being rude and inconsiderate to me. Move. Or I will call the cops and have you moved. Your choice. Because you're holding up production. It blocks customers needing to fuel, waste time for others, and can hinder station profitability. We're not worried about how much, we're not worried about the loss or gain of Walmart profits or any other gas station this happens at. We're talking about how you treat others because of how you want to act, because it's all about your feelings and what you're doing for the moment. Why you shouldn't park at a gas pump without fueling. It's selfish and inconsiderate. Gas pumps are for fueling, not parking. Using them for snacks or restrooms. Yeah, if you gotta go to the restroom, you ain't doing nothing. If you're not even coming there for nothing else but to use their bathroom, park on the curb or park in a parking spot. Why do you think some of these bigger gas stations have those parking lines? Why do you think they create those parking spots? They want to welcome you to come inside to do your inside shopping and or going to the bathroom, not holding up their damn pump. Just for that reason. Causes congestion. It slows down flow at busy stations and can force others to wait unnecessarily. You don't think I've got somewhere I gotta be? I got a life too. Your life is not the only one important. The world does not revolve around you. Think about others before you do this crap. Loss of revenue. It reduces the number of customers a station can serve. Yeah, they might get tired and go somewhere else and spend their money. You just cost them revenue. Because you won't move your stupid ass out of the way. Safety hazard. Leaving a car unattended at a pump, especially if the engine is running or it's a diesel pump, is bad practice. And we'll get into that. We might get into it some more here in a minute, but I was going to mention. What if the pump malfunctions? Or what if you walk away to do something, like go in the store? Now, if you're washing your windows or something like that, that's completely different. You're still manning your car. You're still supervising. You're still attending to it. So let's just say, for example, somehow, God forbid, the pump, while it's pumping, comes out of the tank. And it starts spewing gas everywhere. There's no safety shutoff valve for that. What if the thing, it could come, the thing, that won't matter because it should just shut off. But what if that disconnect safety piece was like a filter, like a black round or cylinder type object, usually black in color. It pops loose, the safety shutoff doesn't shut the system down, and it's just profusely pouring fuel, gas, whatever you want to call it. There is a safety shutoff on those poles or against the wall on the gas station itself that you can shut the whole system down. And yes, legally you're allowed to do so. Because it'd be a whole lot quicker you doing it than running in there telling associate finally, clearing up the customers so they can get after. They just lost gallons of fuel. A hazmat spill. Nobody can move because hazmat has to come in. The station gets shut down for at least 48 hours for the whole cleanup and everything. Why you should pull up to the first pump. We're going to get into that more here in a minute, but I'm going to read this part regardless. Maximizes efficiency. Pulling up to the first pump allows the car behind you to use the second pump, speeding up the process for everyone. Consideration. It's polite and reduces waiting time, especially in busy, high traffic areas. Never leave a pump unattended while it's filling to avoid spills. If you must pay inside, do so quickly and immediately move your car if you plan to shop further. Now, not pulling your car all the way up to the first pump, to the first available pump. Not pulling your car all the way up to the first gas pump is considered poor etiquette at gas stations, at busy stations. I'm going to tell you it's considered poor etiquette even if the station ain't busy. All this is considered poor etiquette, regardless of how much volume is going on at the station. When I mean by volume, I mean business, and I mean how many people are there. I don't care if it's 5 cars that are there or 25 cars that are there. This is still improper etiquette. It's rude, it's inconsiderate, period. Why do I want to back up to the pump in front of you if that's the only pump available? And why would I want to nose my nose up to your nose because you didn't want to pull all the way up and I could have just, did what I had to do? Why do I want to do all that mess? Why can't you just pull all the way up? Simple. It may not be my car that gets behind you because of where my tank's at, which side of the car it's on, but it could be somebody else that needs that pump. Pull up. All the way. Who cares about how convenient it is for you? Or inconvenient? How's it inconvenient? It's still another pump. You're just traveling a few more feet. Whoop-de-doo. I know some of you have a hard enough time traveling a foot ahead of you in a car without getting into a wreck or possibly hitting somebody. I know some of you just can't drive at all. Some of you can't even drive straight forward. Period. You're too busy on this. Or you just prefer to take both aisles. In one aisle, you prefer to take both sides, not just yours. You want to drive right down the middle because you think it's okay. And if somebody's got their turn signal on or whatever, waiting for you to come out so they can turn in because they ain't got the room. And you're looking at them like, what's your problem? You're the one in my way. That's what my problem is. You're not paying attention to where you're at in the lane. Or you're taking up 2 lanes. You're not paying attention to that. Do this again. Not pulling your car all the way up to the first gas pump is considered poor etiquette at busy stations, as it wastes space and prevents others from accessing the pump behind you. It forces the next driver to wait unnecessarily or pull into a spot that blocks them from leaving, causing congestion. Yeah, so whenever I do nose up to you, I have to watch traffic around me when I get done because you're still doing this bullshit. Or on your phone talking to somebody through your Bluetooth and you can't walk and chew gum. You can't multitask. You gotta sit there until you're done with the whole conversation, then you move. Move out of my fucking way. That's what you do. I don't have to back my car up to leave. I should be able to pull forward as soon as you're done. As long as you're pointing in the right direction. Optimal etiquette. Always pull up to the furthest pump available to maximize space for others. Why it matters? Failing to do this creates nose-to-nose scenarios where 2 cars can't easily exit, and it slows down the fueling process for everyone, especially at high-volume stations like Costco, for example, or Sam's Club, or like I said earlier, Walmart, or any gas station. Any. Exceptions. And I'm not even going to read that exception because that's not necessarily true. They're giving the exception that if a person's tank is on the opposite side, and you have to nose in because that's the only pump available. No. You can give a few minutes that person pump that for the pump you really should be using. You can wait. Unless you think you can be quickly in and out, because you're not gonna hold up traffic by doing that. Most of you can't, so don't do it. Wait your turn. It's called. We were taught in school how to wait in a line. In the breakfast line in the lunchroom, in the lunch line in the lunchroom. At restaurants, we wait in lines. They take our name and they ask us to please wait. Fast food, we're having to wait. Your days of waiting in line started from preschool. If you went to preschool, if not elementary school. This is not your first rodeo waiting in line for your number to be called, for it to be your turn. Why should since you're an adult be any different now? Why? In most cases, though, it is considered inconsiderate to not use the first pump. That's not meaning the first one you come to, the first one in the line. So you pull all the way. If there's 5 pumps there, and the whole row is clear, nobody's using any of the pumps, you pull all the way up to the furthest pump, and that people that want to get a pump behind you, they can because it's available. Common sense. Come on, please, people. Practice some common sense logic. Practice etiquette. Don't just think that it's all about you. Get this through your thick heads. I know there's got to be, I ain't going to say that because that may not be true, but prove to the rest of the world that you don't have a lost connection in here between your ears. I know the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz, if anybody's ever seen it, did say people without brains do an awful lot of talking, and you can see it these days. But please prove that you don't have a lost connection between the ears. Please. Show some respect. Anyway, that's all I've got on this one. Still got a couple more I'm going to do. I wasn't planning on doing this one. This wasn't one of them I was planning on doing. I experienced a situation at a gas station today. Nothing different than one I'm used to experiencing. I did, make comments very loudly at these people. Obviously, they didn't have the audacity to say something back. They looked at me, but they ignored me. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. I don't expect you to agree with everything I said, but if you don't agree with everything I said, then you're just like those brainless people I was just talking about. If you think I'm wrong for everything I just said, then you don't have a brain. It's really a no-brainer. It shouldn't even have to be said. But obviously some of you weren't taught gas pump etiquette. Some of you weren't taught gas station etiquette. Some of you wasn't taught etiquette, period. Some of you wasn't taught etiquette in life general, or general life etiquette. So I guess that's what this channel's for, along with everything else I talk about. But anyway, take care, guys. Be safe out there. Try to stay warm. Pray for us. We'll pray for you. We love you. We appreciate you. And yeah, I let a few cuss words slip. I'm sorry. Not really. It's my channel. I'm not perfect. God still knows I love him, and God knows where my heart still is. Let me take these glasses off, get the glare off. Anyway, talk to you guys later, and please just listen to this. Please, just practice it. It's not hard. Please. Treat others like you would want to be treated. Thank you. Until next time, in God we trust.